Welcome back to another episode of Rusted Up Garage. And from what you can see here, it looks like we got ourselves a brand new project. And I don't think you're going to want to miss out on this series. It is going to be pretty wild. So, how about you stick around to after the intro, and we're going to take a look at this fine new specimen that we just dragged home. Okay, so you caught by the intro, we got ourselves a new car. What is it? Well, it's a 1971 Oldsmobile 442. I've always wanted one of these cars. I was actually hunting down a 72, but I mean, 71, they're really close. And, you know, this one just struck me, you know, when I saw her on the old interwebs as a good little project for us to go on. Now, it don't look too bad from here. You know, a couple dents from stuff in the trunk hitting the quarter panel and little blammo on the roof there, and other than that, I mean, you can tell she was you know, what was it, like a street and strip car, I guess? I don't know. I'm not exactly sure when it was originally built into a street and strip car, but whoever originally built it really loved this car. From what we can tell, it was done very nice. The frame had been all TIG welded together, all painted, the underside painted. I mean, this is all paint down through here. So they really loved on this car when they put it together. Now, later on through her life, I'm not exactly sure the history completely from the beginning to the end. But the guy we bought it from, which, by the way, was up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which we made a road trip up. Be lucky you weren't part of the road trip, okay? It was not good. But, you know, we made it anyways. But the guy who owned it, he's owned it for a ton of years, I guess. I'm not sure when the second conversion happened to the car because there's been some modifications to it since its original build, from what I can tell. But at some point, somebody did 2.0 to it and chopped up some stuff and did some stuff. But again, we don't really know. But as we get into the car, maybe we'll find out some more history. I don't know. But it is a true 442 car, and it is a true project car. So what I think we need to do is we just need to bring you around so you can just, you know, take in its goodness and understand why it is a Rusted Up Garage project. So, what's that, Zach? You're going to back up as a transition? I don't know if we should back up, Zach. Because, I mean, they're pretty much looking at this. This is nice. Okay.
So this fine specimen, is it nice?
It kind of is. If you close your eyes.
I mean, it looks great from here.
Yeah. Okay. It's time for you guys to see what kind of train wreck I bought. You guys ready for this? Go ahead, Zach. Back them up. Show them the rest of, well, I guess the rest of the car. So, you didn't actually think I bought a nice car, did you? Come on, people. As you can tell by the roof, it's been on it. It's been on the roof. And if you can tell by the front, something happened in here, okay? So, story is, guy took it out, was ripping it down the road. At some point, I don't know what happened, if it got away from him, if something broke. Again, you know, something happened, and the car snapped to the left, hit a ditch. I don't know how fast it was going. The front wheel grabbed, it ripped the whole frame up, bent all this up, ripped the fiberglass nose off, and then the car stopped and then up over. Just like that. That's what happened to it. And then they got out, no issues. They didn't get hurt or anything. They got the car flipped back over. He dragged it home. He cut the front clip off from it, which I have, and so he could get the motor out of it, and was so discouraged, he grabbed it, pushed it out behind his shop, and there she's been for the last 4 years. Just like that. Until he decided that he needed to add on to his shop, had to move it out front, didn't want to look at it, and put her up for sale. And now she's ours. Yes, ours. All of ours here at Rusted Up Garage. Because you guys get to see me bring this thing back from the dead. So we're basically going to need a frame and a firewall and a floor, possibly a cowl, a roof, a new front window.
I think we might be able to save that front windshield.
It's going to need a couple parts, okay? So we're working on finding some parts. It's also going to need fenders and a nose and all that, because it was fiberglass for angle-back steel with the cool, like W30 style hood. But we got to take it all apart. I mean, it was totally built. I mean, this is totally 90s build for sure, because you can tell by how, it was all wired. It's got the solenoids. It's got the, the front to rear up here. It's got the line lock. It's got the engine bump button. It was just a heater car, which is nice. And, I mean, this side, when we got it, this was actually pushed down to about here. Whole A-pillar was back. We hooked it to the trailer, and I took the forklift and just did this with it 27 times. And we basically got the roof kind of back up to its about shape. It's still off a little, but, we'll... There's some kinks and stuff in it, but that'll all come out when I cut into it and replace, because obviously I got to change out the A-pillar and stuff, and that'll rack the whole roof back to where it needs to be. This door, I don't think it's salvageable, but maybe. We might be able to kick it back, because if we take the inner support out, it'll help. That quarter's a little whacked. But again, once I get it cleaned up, we're going to see how much of it I can salvage, because original metal is better than aftermarket metal any day. Okay. This is the spoiler. It was all paint matched. The trunk weighs 400 pounds. They took the rods out. So the trunk's actually remarkably in good shape. I think it has been, there has been some patchwork. You can tell by the way it's been welded in. So I think it's actually had a floor pan put in it. And they cut the center back out. So I might be able to salvage the back. If it's not that bad, we might have to do a little tub work in it. And then, but overall, it's really not that bad. It's, I mean, all the gasket stuff is good. We're starting to get some rust here, which was, due to the fact that it sat outside and the fact that it was filled up with leaves. So, which kind of sucks, but I understand too, if I wrecked it and put it behind the shop, I wouldn't have worried about covering it up. So, it's just how it goes. But yeah, so that's the back. God, it's heavy. We're gonna put the springs back in it. And then we'll, inside, it's about as disgusting as what you'd think it would be. They did change the interior over to some Cutlass S interior. They must have wanted black, because originally it had been blue. And, but I mean, you can see it was just, it was built very well. I mean, they painted all the graphics in. It was, it's crazy. Someone spent a lot of time and a lot of money making this a really cool car in the 90s. I'm assuming the 90s, just by the looks of it. But when I saw it, I couldn't, let it die. It's too solid underneath. It's too nice of a car to just let someone cut it up for its parts. I can find a base model olds and cut it up and use the pieces from that, and we can buy a roof skin, we can buy all these parts. It ain't a big deal. It's really finding a frame. So I mean, she's disgusting and gross, but she's gonna be really cool. I'm not sure what direction we're gonna take this thing in, but over the next few months I guess we'll find out. So we are gonna get it emptied out and cleaned out. I probably won't I mean, there's no really reason for you to watch us get in here and vacuum and clean and pull some seats out, but probably after I get it emptied out and cleaned out so we can kind of see what we have going on, you know, I'll kind of give you an idea of what's left here, and then we'll work on coming up with a plan of what we're going to salvage and what we're not. But there's a lot of good left to this car. We just need to get it cleaned up and start getting it back together. I guess I'm done ranting now. We just need to get the car together. So you're going to want to stick to this series. It's going to be pretty wild and awesome. And I haven't taken a car like this before and built it, but we're about to. And no, you are not seeing doubles. There really are two frames sitting in this shop. Why are there two frames in this shop? Well, you're about to find out. But from here on out, we're going to be referring to these two chassis as Thing 1 and Thing 2. Yeah, two things. So, although the intro may be the same on both of them, they're going to be two different videos as we build these things out. So be paying attention to Thing 1 and Thing 2, and you will learn what each one's going to be for. Well, as you guys saw from the little short bit of video before this, I'm building myself a 71 442. And as you can see, it's had a bad day, okay? That car is really cool. It has a lot of history, and I don't know, when I found the car, obviously we had to build it. So here I am, okay? I'm building Thing 2 at the same time as we're building Thing 1 across the shop over there, okay? There's a big difference between Thing 1 and Thing 2. Thing 2 is gonna basically be a stock car, okay? It was a street and strip car, so I'm gonna bring it back to the street and strip car that it kind of was, but better, okay? So it needed a new chassis, so we found a new chassis. Well, while I'm here, we might as well do a few upgrades to it, because if you know anything about these A-body chassis, is, you know, they're a little like this. Floppy like that, okay? Like literally, these chassis are nothing but a big old floppy mess. Okay, so when you get on them, this is what they do. Like that, okay? Sorry, just one of them days. Sorry, it's one of them days. That's what these chassis are horrible, okay? They are the Flexi Flyer of Flyer Flexis. Compared to Thing 1's chassis that's stock, this one, it's ridiculous. So there's only really one thing to do, and that's stiffen it, okay? Well, why do we got to stiffen it? Because we got a great big Oldsmobile power plant that we're going to put right there. Okay, we'll talk about the power plant later, but let's just say it's going to be a real Olds powered car, not one of them fake ones that I've been building. Okay, this is going to be a real Olds powered car. So we'll talk about the engine later, but let's talk about the chassis. Now, I am going to put a one of them Marty's torque boxes in the back. Why? Because why wouldn't I?
Because Heims are better.
Yes. I mean, I don't want that mess. I want this mess. Okay? Because it is going to be a coilover car. We're going to put coilovers on it because why wouldn't I? So we got the uppers. We got the lowers. You know, that'll go. Actually, I think that one's backwards. Yes, that one's backwards. You guys get the idea. You know.
That one's still backwards.
Whatever. Don't worry, they'll be welded in right, okay? And then I'm going to, unlike like Thing 1 where it's all gonna be a bunch of tubing and stuff, this one's gonna have some, but I'm gonna weld in flat plate, you know, into here. I'm gonna plate this chassis. I'm gonna plate down over. I'm gonna put a number 1 bar in it because I'm gonna put a loop in it because the car had one. Again, and it was a street and strip car. This thing ain't gonna be doing like 8s. It's gonna be doing probably 12s. Maybe 10s. Let's be optimistic, okay? Maybe 10s. But anyways, a car this age needs to have a bar up over your head and a few door bars. So we're gonna put them back in because that's what it had. It was a street and strip looking car. And you saw what it looked like before, and we're gonna keep the paint similar. Not quite the same, but similar. Almost the same. We're gonna keep the paint almost the same style, But of course, we're going to change the colors a little bit.
You're just gonna have to stay tuned for that. 'Cause
Yeah, we got some crazy stuff going on there. Okay? So, this one's not going to get as much. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut. They make a box thing so you can get bigger tires in this thing. They want like $2,000 to narrow this thing in an inch to put a little bit bigger tire. At $2,000. I don't even have $800 in steel between both cars to do cages and everything. But I get it. It's easy. So what I'm going to do is build my own. So I'll take you guys along. We're going to cut all this out in here. We're going to cut it way back into here. We're going to shrink this in, and we're going to gain a little over 2 inches on this one. Why? So we can run tires in the back. I mean, we don't want to run tires. We want to run tires. So I'm hoping for like a 13-inch tire,
and you're gonna
12-inch wheels.
for that power plant.
Yeah, and we are putting a Marty's rear end in it too, because we have one. So it's going to be a 9.5
inch.
Yeah, 9.5-inch ring. Just say I'm not going to break anything, okay? Because it's got all the splines in there.
No expense spared except for it's not a floater.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice setup, okay? Back here, this is going to be nice. So we got that coming in here. Of course, it's getting a TRZ front end because why wouldn't it? Because they make the best front ends. So it's going to get a full TRZ front end, and we will talk about that too because we are TRZ dealers now. So honestly, if you need some parts from them or wherever they're at, please reach out to us because you're buying it pretty much the same price. I mean, there's not a price there. I'm just telling you. You buy it from them, you buy it from me. But the difference is it helps me out, and it can get us better deals later on, possibly. But I need you guys' help to do that. So if you need stuff from them, please reach out and let us help with all your TRZ needs. I mean, it don't matter what it is. If you need something, reach out, let us help you with it, okay? I appreciate it. There's my plug for TRZ. So anyways, we got a lot of work to do on this chassis as well because we're going to cut all that out. We're going to narrow that up. We're going to box this in, put a number 1 bar. We're going to prep all this frame out. Now this one ain't going to get it nearly as much frame, but as soon as I get that all done, then I have all the body panels already sitting here to start building the body on top of it because as you know, it needed floors, it needs a new firewall. It technically didn't need a rear trunk pan, but it had been cut and stuff. We're just gonna put a new trunk pan in it. So we're actually gonna build out the whole floor section, cut the car loose from the original floor section, and then set it on here. We have a new roof section from the red car, which you guys saw that video already, which should be linked in this area if Zach links it. So we have the roof and all that from that car, so we're gonna be grafting that on. So there's gonna be a lot of cool content with this one too. So this one will be the Thing 2 project, and you will have the hiccups. I got all the hiccups. So yeah, we got kind of like 2 things going at once. Now the beauty is this one right here don't have a time limit. This car, honestly, my goal for this car would be for next year. I want to be able to take this one and do everything with it next year. That's my goal. So really I have until January for this car to be done.
Basically 2 more months.
Well, I got all of October, all of November, and all of December. Technically 3.
Sure.
3 months. And I technically have into January. Depends on what I do with it. So, yeah, so we got more time on this one, but I do want to get this one cranking out because really this one's going to go fast up until that point. So I want to move along, so I don't want them just all stacked in here. So we got that going, we got that going, we got this going, plus we got some customer stuff, which we'll try to show you guys, and we have a few other projects. But I guess really I gotta stop yapping again here. I go just a yappity. You guys don't want to hear yappity, you want to see stuff. So I guess what we're gonna do is get in here. I'm gonna fire up my plasma cutter. This chassis has already been leveled, squared, set, pinned, bolted, welded, done. Like this one is ready to be cut, okay? And again, you don't have to have a perfect frame jig or any of that to do this. You can do this at home. Now it does help that our floor is pretty much perfect because, you know, our concrete man does really good work. So this one's compared to the old floor where we built some stuff together, you and me, us. This This one's way nicer to build on. So, but it's good. So we can build it and we can cut it, and before we put everything in, we can retake the measurements, make sure we're good. And really, I got to get that box in there first and then start building out all of this. So I guess that's really where I got to be. I'm going to get cutting and start getting all that cut out of there. A lot of grinding and stuff. I mean, I'll show you some of it, but again, I know you don't want to sit here and watch me cut and grind for an hour or 4. So we'll make that happen. And I guess I got to get cracking. Let's get at it, Zach. I got stuff to do. I'm not sure exactly where we lost off, probably in a fast forward state of mind where I was grinding and cutting out all of this stuff in here to get ready to put, you know, the new Marti, you know, boxes in. Well, I ran into a little snag after I, went ahead and cut it all out. And I seem to always have this problem, okay? He sells them for A bodies, B bodies, and G bodies, and Mustangs, okay? And in the thing it says, fits most A bodies from 1962 to 1972. What that means is it fits most A bodies from 1962 to 1972, except for mine, okay? I've had the same problem with the B body, okay? And I have a feeling we're about to have it with a second B body. The first one I chalked it up as it was a wagon, so it was different. It legitimately was. The next B body I have is a regular sedan, and I believe it's going to be wrong. So he sells them without the plates on them, so you can just trim them in. But, me, I'm like, well, it's a A body. How can this one be wrong? Basically like that. Now the lower boxes fit right where they belong. So throughout the years, and I'm not sure exactly when because I haven't put much research into this, but they changed how they went up and over the top. And it had to do with several things that I obviously don't know about or Marty, because, but we're not going to let that slow us down. I'm really good at welding and bridging gaps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld a bead down, and then I'm going to weld a bead back up, and a bead back down, and a bead back up, and a bead back down, and a bead back up. I'm going to fill this with weld. And then spray foam on the inside. Seen it done. Should be good. No, I'm just joking. Well, this gives me a perfectly good opportunity to lead into my next segment, which I guess is not going to be in this video because this video is probably around the 20 or so minute mark. I'm going to try to keep these videos short and sweet and less chatting, which I'm just sitting here doing now. But I planned on narrowing up this frame anyways back here. Now they sell a kit for like $1,800. And it cuts out part of this and brings this in like an inch. You gain an inch for $1,500 to $1,800. I'm sorry. It just ain't worth it. $2,000 for an inch? Nah. Well, I say that. In some instances, maybe $2,000 would be worth an inch. But in this particular case, it's not. So, here's where I'm thinking, okay? My idea was originally I was going to cut it right in here, okay? And I was going to bring and build a new frame rail right here, and then I was going to patch in this backside and make it extra strong. Now, we are going to put a few pipes in here, so it'll help. Anyways. You don't really need this back here anyway. That's just for looks and someone to rear end you. So, it just holds the trunk in. I mean, who needs a trunk? I don't need the trunk. Well, I might need the trunk to put my new scooter in. That's right, I got a new scooter. So I do need the trunk for my scooter. But, so instead of just cutting here, what I think I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut this brace back here. Because it kicks in, he has a bend in it right here. Okay, so I'm going to cut this back in here and straighten this back out so it's straight. And then I'm going to use this right here, this inner frame rail, as my new outer frame rail. Okay, I know it seems a little crazy, but what I'm going to do is we're going to dig out the old CAD, and we're going to do some CAD work on the next video, which you're not going to want to miss. And we're going to draw out these frame rails, what they're going to look like. We're going to transpose them on some 6" by quarter or 3/16 thick. It's going to take a couple pieces because it's too cheap to buy a plate just to cut one out. I bought 6" stuff, and we'll just make it work. And cool Mustang guy again. But basically, this is going to become the new outer frame rail. And I'm going to build a new inner frame rail. It's going to weld in right about in here, okay? And it's going to carry this shape. It's going to run right up past here, and that's why I want to kick this in, because I want to keep this inner shape right here for strength. We're going to come right back to here and tie it back in here, like that, okay? And that'll be the new inner that we can hook this to. Then we're going to come in here with a cutter, and we're going to cut all this material out right in here. We're gonna cut it back to right about in here. We'll do like a little soft curve right here, right where that mount goes, and come in, okay? And we're gonna cut it right up through here, just back of this a little bit, about there. We're gonna keep that, we're gonna maintain about an inch or so right here. And we're gonna come up through, leaving this, cutting all of this out, and we're gonna keep that cut going all the way back into here, and this mount's gonna have to move inboard. And I'm gonna come out here and clean it out, and we're gonna taper it right from here to there. And then replate all of this. Now, that's gonna allow me to put some bigger tires underneath this thing. Bigger tires. So, if you have an A-body, and it don't matter which A-body, one that does or does not fit this, the next video is gonna be cool because you can technically do this even if you left all this. The only difference is you would plate the inside, right? Leaving the original, you'd have to cut the spring perch out and go to coilovers. But you could redo that, you could put a brace in, and that would hold all this together, and then you could come in and cut back to this seam right here. You could cut that seam, and then you could replate the inside, and you'd gain almost 1.5 inches. So, which would allow you to run easily a 12-inch wide tire. My plans are that at this point, I should be able to get a 14-inch wide tire up underneath this thing.
Why do you need a 14-inch wide tire?
Why do I need a 14-inch tire? For traction.
You've got a 350 ohms. Actually, right now you got Bluetooth ohms.
Well, I'll tell you the reason. Okay, and probably there's no one left here watching this video, so this is probably a good point to put it in. We live in Chevelle country, okay? Everybody has Chevelles. And everyone thinks their Chevelle is fast, okay? Everyone's Chevelle is faster than everyone else's Chevelle. Okay, that's just, it is what it is. I mean, I got friends with Chevelles. They love them. I like their Chevelles. They're nice, okay? I'm just not a Chevelle guy. I'm an Oldsmobile guy. So at this point, okay, this Oldsmobile here has got to take care of business here in Chevelle country. And basically, I got to spank any Chevelle that comes around the area, is what I got to do. So the only way to do that is to build the baddest Oldsmobile that I can build. So that's why. Is that a good reason? Okay, that's what I thought. So if you're a Chevelle, don't hate me. No hate.
You can do this to your Chevelle.
You can do this to your Chevelle, but just know that, you know, you may want to think twice before you decide you want to race me in a Chevelle.
Or
Around here. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be the fastest Oldsmobile around by any means, because it's not. There's some really fast ones out there. But around this area, yeah, it's going to be pretty quick, okay? I might even have to put it up against a Mustang or two. That's what I'll have the nitrous for. Oh, did I say I was going to have nitrous?
giving away too many
Okay, that's it.
secrets.
I'm done. Done speaking to you guys. Be ready for the next video. And we're going to get in here and start chopping all this frame out and getting this, get this box in so we can get this chassis done. Because it's really not going to take long. I want to get this chassis done and out of the way. We got the other chassis to get started on over there. And that'll be in a different video. That'll be in Thing 1's video, not Thing 2's video. So you watch now. If I can get my my guy to do his thing, okay, we should start rolling videos out weekly. But I can't promise that because, well, you know, you do email Zach. Zach at, I don't know what the rest of the email is, but I know there's got to be one. Zach at rustedupgarage.com. Is that one? Do we own that one? No. Do we have any Rusted Up Garage ones?
No.
Oh, crap. Okay, well, just comment on the video and tell Zach. Come on, Zach. Do your freaking job. Okay? You guys have a good week. Peace out.